Hi everybody, welcome back to Bobby's Bucks, and today I wanted to share this story of how I shot this buck on opening day on public land. It's a pretty neat story, and stick with us, I'll tell you all about it. Hi everybody, welcome back. I make videos to help you harvest better bucks on public land, private land. You can take these skills and these tips and apply them to either or. I usually head out to public land every year, and this year I was able to harvest a deer on opening day, which is when a lot of bucks get harvested, because rifles are pretty darn easy, and I'll talk about how I go about making an easy shot. So first and foremost, I wanted to dedicate this to my buddy Bill. He's battling cancer right now, and he hasn't been feeling strong enough to get out and hunt. And I was talking to him on the phone, and he was mentioning that nobody was out hunting his area, and there's one guy that'd been out a couple times, and he ended up buying his tree stand that was out in the woods, and it was still out there, but we didn't know if it was out there for sure. So when I did go out and hunt, I took my sticks and my platform with me, and that's what I ended up harvesting this buck out of. You know, we got to talking, and he wanted to hunt out of his ground blind in the back of his property. So he has public land behind him as well. So I made it over there a couple days ago and cleaned out his ground blinds, cut some shooting lanes, moved some things, and we got a trail cleared out so he can make it all the way back to the ground blind. The opening day here in Michigan is nuts. And there was already 4 to 5 cars in every parking area when it was bow hunting. And you could probably double that, and the cars were parked along the road. And these deer hunters, these rifle hunters, I'm tipping my hat to these guys because I couldn't find a spot. I must have checked, and I was there at 5 in the morning, and the sun doesn't come up until 7:15. I'm not kidding you, the 12th place that I checked, and I was already made the decision to go home and just bow hunt the property on opening day, which I did before. I finally found a spot, and that morning, I hiked about a half mile back, and I thought I was all alone. And it was a great spot. It was a bedding area that was actually between 2 monster cattail areas by a lake, very far back, very isolated. And about 45 minutes before daylight, here comes a hunter, and he passes me. If you're gonna hunt deep in the woods, it's probably a good idea to get up early and be the first one there. Okay, that said, so that morning I didn't see anything. We didn't see any deer. Just heard another gunshot, and it actually was over there, across the street, which is about half a mile away. Both good areas. I was actually going to hunt that area this morning, but they already had a couple cars in the parking lot. And the reason why I took this spot was because it's really far back. It's all bedding, and I feel that deer will be escaping to this area. So, but I only heard 2 gunshots the entire morning, and they're, near me. So, kind of a warm morning. It's maybe 48 degrees, not really cold. You just can't wear enough orange. And the deer's eyes, they have a bicone system where they can't see colors like orange, red, green. We have a tricone system, so we're able to see more colors, but their eyes work a little different, where they work a little bit better at dusk and dawn and in low light. They can see better. You really don't have to worry about getting spotted by deer by wearing orange. I like to wear a very conspicuous blaze orange, and I still harvest deer every year. So, and plus, very important, wear a flashlight. Now, in most cases, I wear a red and a green light when I'm bow hunting. But when I'm rifle hunting, I wear a lot of orange and I use a regular light. Now, once I get closer to my hunting spot, then I'll change out to my dim light, only for a safety precaution. Okay, that said, let's move on. Now, opening day was really tough to find a spot. I finally found a spot. The first gun that I heard go off was that guy that walked by me 45 minutes before light. And he never walked out. He shot that shot at, I wanna say probably 7:30. I hunted till 11 that morning, and he stayed in there, and his first shot was about 7:30, 7:40. So he either missed or he was busy tracking his deer all morning, I don't know. So that hunt was very uneventful. I headed home, I got some things done, and I was waiting for Rusty. As soon as Rusty showed up, we packed up and headed out to public land. So the co-host from the Rabbitry Center podcast, we also run a Rabbitry Center channel that helps folks with meat production and starting their own profitable rabbitry in their own backyard. Be sure to check that out if you're interested, because venison and rabbit meat is very similar. They're both low in fat, high in protein, and very healthy meat. So we got to talking, and Rusty decided to come out with me, and he wanted to fill the freezer. So he was just going to shoot the first legal buck or doe that he's seen. So I put him in a spot that I've seen a lot of deer. I only came out there one time before, and it was during bow season, and that was when I seen a lot of yearling bucks, so I put him right in that stand. I hiked all the way back and I dropped Rusty off, and I made it deeper into the area that Bill described. Very excited to be out here. It's opening rifle afternoon 2024. We're hunting a spot that we only hunted one time this year. Rusty is about 400 yards that direction, and he's hunting right next to a salt mine, right up to private, where they take their hunting very seriously. So some really high caliber deer could be coming in and out of that area. So about a half hour after the hunt started, I seen a spike going from my left to right, walking this ridge. There's a doe over here. Damn, never mind, he's a spike. I was texting Rusty back and forth, explaining to him about this spike in Michigan's new, at least in the county that we were hunting, had new regulations. As I'm sitting there texting him, I seen in this swamp, this thicket, about 20 yards behind that spike, was a buck. I seen these 3 points between the thicket, and it was really dense in there. I couldn't see very much, and he showed himself, but then 5 minutes went by and I couldn't see him again. I didn't know if he walked off or not. So when I was starting to give up hope, there's a nice buck in there. Snort wheezed at him. I don't know if he liked it or not. He's about 75 yards in there. Oh, here he comes. Come on out. A doe actually walked up to the same little pocket where he showed his antlers, and she was looking out into the woods in my direction. So when I seen that, I was hoping that this buck was tending that doe. So I blew a snort wheeze with my hand. And when I did that, he actually started walking back and forth in that thicket. Nothing happened. I never used my grunt call. I didn't do another snort wheeze. I just sat patiently. So I'm sitting there, and I'm just looking through my scope, and he just wouldn't come out. He wouldn't come out. And the spike is making his way closer to me. When the spike was about 20 yards, almost crossing my wind, I was getting nervous that he was going to blow the hunt. The doe starts to come out of the thicket. She starts to come onto the ridge and starts to come at me. She's about maybe 10, 15 yards closer to me now. I'm waiting patiently, waiting for that buck to step out. And right when I started to think that it wasn't going to work out and he walked the other way, he showed himself and he started coming out, and he walked out right where that doe was. So he was hot on her trail, still tending her. So at this point, the spike and the doe move to my right, and this buck is standing out on the ridge, quartering at me. And I take careful aim.
That's a good one. That's a good one. Super happy with this buck. I mean, doesn't have the tallest tines, but he's really wide and he's cool. It was really cool. He was back here tending a doe, and there was a spike hanging around doing circles, and so shot him at about 60 yards with my 450 Bushmaster. So really cool buck. What really helps me in a major way is having an easy hanger. I screw an easy hanger in, and if you can't use an easy hanger on public land, use one of those straps, and you can simply put the rifle on one of those little clips. So, but nice buck. He may be 2.5, but nice buck.
So after one shot, he reared up, took about 2 steps, and rolled right over. Somersaulted right over and died right there on the ridge. Track job over. When I was field dressing him, I pulled his heart out because I always collect the heart, but I couldn't collect the heart on this one because it was in 2 pieces. So this buck is dedicated to my buddy Bill. Thank you to Rusty for dragging it out. This was a gnarly drag out. We were way back there, and it was one heck of a job. So best of luck to all you deer hunters out there. I hope you guys shoot a deer that you're proud of, and we'll see you on the next video.